just kind of coming in.
We're going to go
to
to
a couple of tornado warnings right now, but we are doing
down
a
to
little bit more
Florida,
macro coverage as
where
well.
there's a lot of action going on.
Hurricane Helene that's going on. Right now, the latest information that we have for you about Hurricane Helene is that it is a Category 2 hurricane with 105 mile per hour winds, 125 mile per hour gusts. Minimum pressure is around 960 millibars. It's going to keep dropping as we see these big convective bursts pop up around that central area of low pressure. That looks like it might be the one that ends up closing us off completely here and allows this thing to really take off, as we continue to expect that it will. This is at least going to make landfall as a Category 3 major hurricane. Later tonight, potentially even still a Category 4 making landfall tonight somewhere after 8 p.m. Eastern in Florida. We're already starting to see some storm surge in Western Florida. We expect to see potentially a catastrophic storm surge at some point in the Big Bend area as the storm approaches. So we're covering that. We're covering a high risk of excessive rainfall today and potentially historic flooding in the southern Appalachian Mountains, which we will talk a lot about that as time goes on. And then we're also dealing with
you guys look at the cameras.
We've got a tornado right now.
If I can zoom in for you guys.
That we are covering.
We're chucking Helene, guys. As this moves through.
Low country highway here is in their safe spot. This is going to keep going up towards Hughes and, of course, Clear Pond. Make sure you all are taking shelter now. Back to Georgia, there's another tornado warning back here where we need you to take shelter in the Cedar Grove area. Okay, this is also coming together quite nicely.
Regular Omega.
Like that could certainly have a tornado with it.
Today's stream is sponsored by Regular Omega. You download the app.
And then, last but not least, there is another warning in more southeastern South Carolina that continues for the next, let's see here, 10 minutes or so. We'll see if they reissue that because the rotation is still there. But this is for Holmesville, South Carolina. So take shelter if you live in Holmesville, South Carolina.
Today,
let's see here. Grace, thank you for that. And Mike.
Tampa, is it?
Yeah, speaking of the historic flooding that is on the table up here in North Carolina, just to put this into perspective, all right, this is what we are expecting.
One
of the storm total precipitation images that we can Greenville, Spartanburg.
Like you guys watch the hurricane coming, I'll be out back. I gotta go.
Some places getting more than 50.
Solo stream Zoom. I'll be right back.
20 inches of rain out here in the Appalachian Mountains on the southeastern side, in northwestern or in western North Carolina, northwestern South Carolina, and this is going to be an extreme event, an extreme rainfall event. Lots of flash flooding is going to happen. And to put it into perspective, this is how much rain we received in this area during the flood of 1916 in and around Asheville. This led to around 80 fatalities. Okay. This is from the National Weather Service. This will be one of the most significant weather events to happen in the western portions of the area. Talking about, this portion of South Carolina and North Carolina in the modern era. Record flooding is forecasted and has been compared to the floods of 1916. And if these numbers are anywhere close to being correct, the results of this will overshadow 1916 like crazy. Go ahead, Andy.
Hey, Bren. Our tornado warning for Earhart and Vandenberg County in South Carolina was upgraded to an observed warning. We do have a much deeper debris signature now, so it was a strong tornado for a couple of minutes here, more than likely. I do think it's weakening now, but unfortunately it didn't weaken before it maybe did some more significant damage. That warning did get upgraded, and it did not come through on my side or yours, I believe. So we might have to look into that, but I will be sure to update you on any warnings that are updated or upgraded.
Okay, thank you very much, Andy. Meteorologist Andy Hill bringing our attention back over here to Lodge and Earnhardt. This is now a confirmed tornado warning. So we've got to make sure we are taking extra precautions here in Hughes, as this would be the next place that it's going. Right now it's going up past Earnhardt, and then it's going to move up towards Hughes and Clear Pond next. So make sure you are taking shelter over there in those areas in South Carolina. That's Bamberg County, South Carolina. It's radar confirmed. Trying to trying to see what's going on. Yeah, so basically this circulation is going to continue to go down towards Clear Pond. It's going to ride Highway 6A. Yeah, so we've got the Andrew Jackson Academy past Clear Pond, and then maybe this will go all the way up towards Bamberg. So y'all need to take shelter. Yeah, Andy, we might just have to do verbal updates on upgrades today. So that's what it's looking like. Yeah, Andy, we might just have to go ahead and right.
Hey Ryan, two things for you. We got another hurricane numbers passed through, and it seems like we are down to 958.3 millibars. That is significantly lower than our last pass through by about 4 millibars. Also, we got an update from Storm Chase West Shelton that gas stations in the Cedar Key and Gainesville area are starting to run very low or out on gas. So that is one of those things that we unfortunately commonly see during evacuations. All the gas is gone. So make sure that if you're heading into that area, which you should not be, but if you need to for whatever reason, make sure that you are bringing gas to get yourself back and out there.
Yeah, thank you very much. So those are some updates there. We do currently have 3 tornado warnings, several tornado watches out there as well. So that's why we've been talking so much about the tornado threat. A big thing that is getting ready to become more of a problem is the flooding threat. We're probably going to see several considerable flash flood warnings and possibly even some flash flood emergencies today. And then we are also anticipating the storm surge here soon, near some of our more southern areas. So places like Tampa are already seeing some water rise. So we're going to be jumping around between all of that. Do we have an update from Caleb?
Darren, how's it going? I'm currently just north of the St. Mark's area here in Florida. I'm actually on one of the rivers that leads out or into the Gulf of Mexico. I'm 100% sure what area we're specifically focusing on, whether there's normal flow or not, going inbound or outbound. But we're actually starting to see this area right here begin to rise. We've seen it in the last probably 20, 30 minutes. I've seen it come up about a foot. And we're now actually beginning to have houses get submerged. So it is something to watch with that storm surge. And even though we're not into the hurricane yet, we are starting to see the effects of that.
Oh my gosh.
Storm chaser Caleb Beecher, who is All Force 1, giving us an update there. We just
Oh my gosh.
This is a live look from All Force 1, which is showing the water that's starting to come up there. So it's right now things are starting to happen. Everything's happening slowly but surely, and then there's going to be a moment where things just really get intense here along the coast, likely later this afternoon. Leading up to that, we're just kind of watching and waiting, especially the satellite here. This is important aspect to keeping up with where the storm is and how intense we believe it's going to be whenever it makes landfall. We still see that latest big time convective burst, this big tower here that's just went up. It's a good sign that this is probably going to undergo some pretty significant intensification over the next couple of hours. And we're going to watch that unfold here as it goes towards Florida. We're still several hours away from landfall, so this thing has a lot of time to get strong. Okay, it is strong already. It's a category 2. 105, 125 mile per hour gusts. We expect it at least to be 120 miles per hour, 150 mile per hour gusts just off the coast here. And it's not out of the question for it to continue to strengthen even beyond that as it goes towards making landfall just to the south of Tallahassee later today, closer to 9 p.m. Eastern likely. So that's what's going on with our hurricane. And we're going to continue watching it. We're going to continue to watch all of our storm chasers and cameras out here. And we're going to go back through and check in on all of our tornado warnings. We've got a confirmed tornado warning. Once again, radar confirmed tornado warning out here near Earnhardt. The rotation has let up quite a bit with this one, so hopefully that'll be allowed to expire, but we still want you in your safe spot in places like Springtown and Clear Pond. Additionally, we've got a pretty strong storm capable of producing a tornado down here in Bacon County, Georgia, and Appling, Georgia. This will move up towards Baxley eventually. You guys aren't under a tornado warning yet, but I would watch out. And then we've got another tornado warning, which is quite impressive here. The rotation is coming up towards Lowry right now. Next in line would be the Southwest Lawrence Middle School along Highway 319 here as the storm moves up towards you.
A new tornado
So we got a
warning
new
has been
tornado
issued.
warning for Appling County, Georgia.
Okay, so we got
And
a new
that's
tornado
what we were
warning.
just talking about with Baxley being included in the future path of this storm. So they've just extended the tornado warning to now include Baxley all the way back towards Spring Branch and Falling Rocks in South Carolina, or Georgia, sorry. This is a strong storm that is capable of producing a tornado.
Appling, Georgia.
Baxley right now. We need everybody in Baxley to take shelter. That's Appling County, Georgia. The
When
first
you
place to be impacted
use tornado
greater,
warning
Baxley area.
for Appling, Georgia.
We had a tornado that would come up
We
towards
need
Appling
everybody.
County,
I need everybody to take
Memphis,
shelter immediately.
and then,
Get away from windows.
So we'll keep that in mind. As
So
we
if you're
watch
in
this situation
Georgia
unfold
listening,
here.
get away
One
from
tornado warning,
windows.
One confirmed in South Carolina.
Just seek shelter immediately.
Hey, Bethany, thank you for that. Weeping Willow says a huge thank you to you and your entire team for continuous, reliable coverage. Always thankful for y'all. Shout out to the Weather Wife. Yeah, that was super nice. Thank you, Weeping Willow. Thank you. Taylor's been here for 17 months. What's up, Taylor? Are the storms on the East Coast being caused from the hurricane? Yeah, essentially. Yeah. If what you're talking about is this, all of this stuff, let me come out here. Oops, sorry. Yes, what we are referring to this as is a predecessor rain event. So if you watched our videos leading up to this hurricane, we talked about the big trough that was going to kind of steer the hurricane a little bit to the east, which is what ended up happening. Well, this trough has kind of, it caused some severe storms yesterday, and it's kind of compiled a bunch of energy right here where all of this, kind of flow from the hurricane is pushing up against it. All of this moisture is kind of funneling up into it, and we're just seeing continuous rainfall and storms in this area. And since the hurricane's path is like this, and it's interacting with the trough in a way that's going to kind of stall it out, the hurricane's going to ride up the trough. This rain band, this area of rainfall is not going to move until the hurricane is finished, until it's moved past the Appalachian Mountains, and it allows for the fanning out of that moisture over a larger area, and eventually it's just going to fizzle out. So yeah, all of the storms that are occurring right now are essentially a result of our hurricane, or at least a part of the overall system that is Hurricane Helene. Hurricane Helene is hitting jet fuel right now. It's in that sweet spot where we expect it to really start intensification. So that's kind of where we are with this. It's not where we thought it would be. It's a little bit behind. However, this right here is a good sign that the thing is still capable of rapid intensification on its approach to Florida.
Proverbs 16:3 says, "Commit to the Lord whatever you do."
While most of the damaging winds are going to be just east of Helene's center, we do have to remember that this is going to be a very large storm. Strong to damaging winds are going to extend very far east from the storm center with a significant to catastrophic storm surge across the Florida Gulf Coast. And one of the things that is interesting about this storm and poses some unique risks is the forward motion. It's going to be moving fast near the landfall location. This thing's going to be chugging by the time it makes landfall and then moves up towards Atlanta. It's going to be moving really quickly, and that is going to that's going to make the onset of the strongest winds seem like a surprise to some people. So it might feel relatively calm in places, extreme winds from this storm, and then seemingly out of nowhere we get the major hurricane winds kind of all at once. It's not going to be as much of a gradual increase like we've seen with previous hurricanes. It's going to come very fast, and hopefully that doesn't lead to people having their guards down, especially since the landfall is going to happen much later tonight. So that's something to keep in mind. Go ahead, Andy.
Hey Ryan, I'm watching that storm that previously produced a tornado there near Earhart and Bamberg, South Carolina. It's very visually evident, which is why I'm bringing this up. Anything new. The previous tornado is kind of off to the southwest of the main supercell. And if we look at the Columbia radar, which is further away, I can actually see a new mesocyclone forming to the south and east of where our old tornado was attached to the storm. We call this a mesocyclone handoff, and this is a very interesting data point of that occurring in a tropical tornado scenario. So very interesting to watch it happen. This means for the people in Bamberg that a new tornado may be possible. It is not formed or consolidated yet. However, a new part of the storm is now spinning and becoming dominant. So we'll see if that does cause another tornado down the line. We'll have our eye on this storm for you. But please, y'all watch out in Bamberg and to the north. Eventually, areas west of Orangeburg, South Carolina should be alert of this storm.
Thank you, Andy. Meteorologist Andy Hill is looking at the storm here at Bamberg. This is the area of concern. Pretty much anybody in Bamberg or between Bamberg, Midway, and Embry, South Carolina, you guys need to be on the lookout for a potential tornado coming into view here. The storm has a history of producing a tornado, and it very likely could do it again here as it comes up over Highway 78 within the next 10 to 15 minutes. We'll probably see a new warning issued at some point here soon too. Speaking of warnings, let's go to our other warnings. We still have a tornado warning for Baxley, Georgia. This one is still pretty impressive looking on radar. No confirmed reports or anything here. However, we do have that warning in place for Baxley and Spring Branch in Georgia. Stay in your safe spot until further notice. And then we continue to have a tornado warning up here for Lawrence County, Georgia as well. This one, the rotation's letting up a little bit, it seems. So we will hope that trend continues as it moves off to the north, because eventually that storm's going to start getting close to Dublin. So you guys should start thinking about maybe watching out if it continues to come up towards you. How will Panama City fare? Panama City, you guys are probably not going to get the worst of this storm. It'll be a little bit farther to your east. However, I would still expect tropical storm conditions and potentially some very strong winds and some heavy rain. I wouldn't expect the worst of the storm surge. That's going to be pretty far to your east where that happens, I believe. I think that the closer you are to the coast, the more problems we're going to have with the wind, and that's the main thing that you need to be keeping an eye on. Everything from what we can tell from satellite right now seems to have everything right on track with the path of the storm. It's this cone, this projected track here is pretty much locked in. I don't think we're going to see too much in the way of significant wobbles east or west. It'll make landfall somewhere in that cone of uncertainty, which is not very wide. It's going to be somewhere just to the south of Tallahassee. We are expecting that there will be widespread power outages, especially where we have those hurricane warnings in south central Georgia and in the panhandle of Florida. It is expected that some of these power outages associated with the hurricane here will last for days, maybe even weeks. And we've got a new tornado warning for Orangeburg.
A new tornado warning has been issued.
Orangeburg, South Carolina. Let's go check in on it. So this is what Andy was talking about earlier. They did continue the warning, and it now includes Bamberg. So hopefully everybody in Bamberg is sheltered. Finland and Cope, you guys are also included in this. And the velocity signature continues to look slightly more impressive than what it did in the previous frame. It's going to continue to go to the northwest and essentially go right towards Bamberg. So the rotating part of the storm is going to go right towards y'all in Bamberg, in between Denmark and Midway. From there, I would be concerned if I'm in Finland and Cope. And this is in South Carolina. So make sure you take shelter if you haven't already. Up there. Currently have 3 tornado warnings. Seeing some pictures on social media from storm surge flooding already occurring at high tide in southwest Florida. The forecast still calls for 3 to 5 feet of surge later today and tonight. Don't be caught off guard even if you're down there in southwest Florida, especially around the Tampa area. Expected to get pretty rough with up to 5 to 8 feet of storm surge in some of those places. Yeah, we'll probably see pretty strong winds fairly far inland. Probably not sustained winds, but gusts between 60 to 80 miles per hour are certainly going to be possible across most of South Carolina even. And even portions of western North Carolina could see some gusts of over 60 miles per hour as the center of the storm moves over in your direction. Mobile, I think that you guys are pretty far out of the way. I don't think that Mobile, I don't think that you guys will have much negative impacts from this storm at all. And Kathy, thank you. Kuza G, thank you.
Can I ask you a question in a nice way? What do you normally eat? You don't like candy?
Chris says, hey Ryan, I'm in the city of Jacksonville Emergency Operations Center. We have the National Weather Service here, and I'm watching the Ryan Hall Y'all YouTube channel for updates. Awesome. Thank you, Chris. And thank you to everybody that's watching and tuning in today. Let us know. Chris, let us know if there's anything that we can do. Videocast. Still looks pretty like a pretty significant and robust tornado threat today for the majority of we're pretty much southern South Carolina and portions of southeastern Georgia. Is southeastern Ohio going to get anything from the hurricane? Not much. Not much. We're talking about a little bit of rain, a couple of days of dreariness, and some cooler air coming in afterwards, but not much. Unfortunately, you guys need the rain.
Yeah, what's the problem?
And once again, for anybody who's just now tuning in, we are doing wall-to-wall Hurricane Helene coverage here all day. We started a couple hours ago. We're going to keep going until we can't go anymore. And we're going to be here for landfall. We're going to be here for all these tornado warnings that are coming out. And we're going to be here covering the significant flooding situation that's about to start unfolding in North Carolina. Once again, just a reminder, this is an official message from the National Weather Service in Greenville, South Carolina. They're saying about the flooding situation. This will be one of the most significant weather events to happen in western portions of the area in the modern era. Record flooding is forecast, and it's being compared to the floods of 1916 in the Asheville area. And some of the forecasts for today's rainfall and tomorrow's rainfall are much greater than what we've ever had in this portion of the world, that we know of, that we've got records for. One thing to also keep in mind here is that Hurricane Helene is massive, and the closer we get to landfall, the more we're going to kind of hyper focus on that landfall area. So that's why I am trying my best to spend this time talking about all of the impacts that will occur inland, and the whole state of Florida is going to experience some sort of impacts from this. The whole state of Georgia, the entire state of South Carolina. So I'm trying to make sure we get that message across before we have to really hyper focus in on the landfall situation here. This big convective burst continues to look quite impressive, and once again is a sign that our storm is really over rocket fuel for hurricanes in the open waters of the Gulf of Mexico, and it's going to undergo a robust intensification all the way up until its landfall this evening.
Brian, get up! We need to make bed. Bring around there, Rat. You do this.
Here's a good satellite view too. Go ahead, Andy.
Hey Ryan, watching two storms right now, both that I think are just below tornado warning thresholds, but are still worth watching just in case they ramp up in the near future here. One is near Wilma, Florida, from the Tallahassee radar to the south and west of the radar in Liberty County, headed up towards Orange, Florida, eventually towards Frink into the southwest of Blountstown, right in that area. So that one does not have a warning on it, and it does have a little bit of rotation. We'll see if it ramps up. I don't see much upper level support on that, so I'm genuinely not sure if we'll reach
A new tornado warning
for that
has been
one.
issued.
So that's one area I'm watching.
Yeah, Brian.
Well,
There it is.
that would be that one. Yes. Okay. Well, it did reach the threshold, and that would be the reason for that warning coming out. So y'all take shelter there, please. And I guess I might as well mention the other one since that one got a warning. This is from the southern Georgia radar, KVAX, here near Manor, Georgia, to the north and east of the radar, north and east of Homerville. This one near Manor, Georgia, has stayed relatively small. It's a little tiny supercell in a little string of storms here, and it has exhibited some rotation. So we'll see if that one gets a warning as well. That warning, funnily enough, is not for the storm, but that would have been very impressive if I nailed 2 for 2 while talking about them. So we'll zoom in on that South Carolina warning next.
Absolutely. Thank you, Andy. We're going to visit all of these now that we have, we're back up to 4 tornado warnings. That most recent one is up here in Lee, Sumter, and Clarendon counties in South Carolina. Some places in the path of the rotating part of this storm are going to be the Dabbs Airport and the Tuberville Correctional Institution. All right. So if you know where those places are, that's kind of like right in the line of where the rotation is and the direction that it's going. So make sure you take shelter now up there in, once again, Lee, Sumter, and Clarendon County, South Carolina. Now, let's go back down here to Georgia. Our storm that's approaching Baxley continues to look really impressive. I think that it's rotating quite nicely. Could be producing a tornado here as it comes right towards Baxley. This is Appleton County, Georgia. You guys need to take shelter now. Let's go to Florida. This is the storm that Andy was just talking about. This is Liberty and Calhoun counties in Florida. We've got a potential tornado developing here, about to cross over Highway 65 between Wilma and Central City. This is going up towards Mosquito Landing and Gun Landing. It's also really close right now to the Cliff Lake campground, and it's moving up towards the Big Gully Landing campground. If you know where those places are, draw a line between them. That's essentially the path that the rotation is going to take. And then let's see here. We've got another one that we need to hit on. The Bamberg warning is still with us. Bamberg and Orangeburg counties in South Carolina, you're still under a tornado warning. However, the rotation here has let up a little bit, so let's hope that that continues to be the case as we continue to track these storms across portions of Georgia and South Carolina, and now Florida too, on the board with our tornado watches and or our tornado warnings. Ty Cause, thank you so much for that. Very generous contribution. I really appreciate it. Riley says Bryce has updates on Zello. Check in with him. Has he tried to reach out to me? Have I missed something?
No, I've just been talking to him in the background, yeah.
All right. Bryce, man, we're watching and we're following along. Tell us what's going on out there whenever you get the chance. Give us an update. So Bryce Shelton's in spot number 2 up there.
Yeah, Ryan, I'm at Horseshoe Beach, Florida, right here on the Gulf Coast, and the wind has really picked up over the last hour here, or hour and a half here. And you can see the waves are starting to crash over the highway in front of us.
All right. So that's Bryce Shelton in Horseshoe Beach, Florida. And look at how it looks like a relatively nice day so far. As the skies are somewhat clear here, but things are going to rapidly deteriorate as Hurricane Helene gets closer and closer. This is surprisingly one of the only places that's experiencing clear conditions right now, because look at all the cloud cover associated with Helene. Like literally the entire eastern side of North America, for the most part, is covered in clouds that are in some way connected to our overall system here. But there is this one little band of clearing that's traveling through Florida right now. So that's something to consider here. Everybody else, like even all the way up here in Michigan, you guys are starting to see the front side of the predecessor rain event that's out in front of our Hurricane Helene, which is coming up into Florida right now. Looks like a pretty strengthening hurricane to me on satellite here. So this is definitely a good way to see how large it is. This is going to be a wide.
A new tornado warning has been
Lawrence,
issued.
Georgia, now under a tornado warning. Let's go check that out. We've now got 5 tornado warnings. This includes the town of Dublin. All right, let's see what the rotation on this looks like. There it is. You've got a little bit of a velocity couplet here, indicative of potential. That's enough to warrant a tornado warning in this situation, because in tropical tornado situations like this, it doesn't always take as much visual rotation on the velocity to give us the confidence to know that there could be a tornado there, because of how low to the ground these clouds already are, and different factors like that. So East Dublin and Dublin in Georgia, you guys need to be taking shelter as you are under a tornado warning right now. We're going to see this get really close to the Oconee Riverview Park, Warlock Park on the southeast side of Dublin. That's where the rotation is going to enter to town. Okay, and it's going to continue to go up towards Holly Hills and then Country Club Road. We got 5 tornado warnings now. Mallory says, sorry if you went over this, but what are the different colored dots on the map? Those are just, for me, those are little points of interest. I obviously don't know where every airport and elementary school on Earth is, but this program does. So that's one of the things that helps me kind of contextualize where the velocity couplets are outside of just saying town names and county names. So anytime there's a warning, there's those little dots populate in there to help me tell where things are. takeout, it's a pretty good chance, especially later today.
And the angels cry. Looking back today, seeing all the things you've done, I can't even add them up. 1, 2, 3, up to infinity. I'd run out of numbers before I could thank you for everything. Come to count my head of a hill. Come to count my head of a hill. And looking back today, seeing all the things you've done, I can't even add them up. 1, 2, 3, up to infinity. Before I could thank you for everything. Come to count my head of a hill. And looking back today, seeing all the things you've done, I can't even add them up. 1, 2, 3, up to infinity. I'd run out of numbers before I could thank you for everything. Come to count my
I'm playing out here. Radio's out here.
Johnson, Lawrence, and Wilkinson from all of these on the trip will actually expire. Hopefully we get a little bit of a break. The veteran, the 1 year veteran is just about to expire. Hopefully we get a little bit of a break here before we go into our next slew of tornado warnings, which will certainly come. And they'll likely even be more intense rotations with those storms as we go over the speaking of those next ones, I would use
A new tornado watch has been issued.
Charleston, South Carolina, to be on the lookout for slew of the
Some tropical tornadoes, as you mentioned, could verify power out from the coastline or basically the city proper. You can see those supercells offshore here. They're headed, one of them is headed east towards the Charleston metro area. It should be at about 45 to 60 minutes or so based on my estimations. But there's several more of the supercells to the south that definitely look like they're producing water spouts right now. So they open up which the environment doesn't have incentive to do so on land as well. But thematically and thermodynamically, then we will probably start to see tornado warnings, especially early warnings preceding them in about 45 to 60 minutes. So prepare for that after lunchtime tornado threat for Charleston, South Carolina.
Thank you so much. Everyone just came to you. We're watching the Charleston and all of these storms. South Carolina. We also got, we just recently got a tornado watching us on Susan. On the rest of the yeah, this is lots of tornadic activity we talked about. So the new activity that I was talking about earlier, that's probably going to continue to be the start of the show, I guess, for quite some time. Really, and thank you for that.
For my friend, you were willing to give your life.
Baker says,
What you willing to do that?
thank you.
Monster, I my head.
Mountains of Tennessee, North Carolina, conditions of closures through National Park Service website. That's a good idea. Lots of road closures in that area right now.
Can you join in to watch this issue?
Hey Ryan, we just passed another significant fine, 100 service level, flight level, service level. But depending on what the service level is,
A new tornado warning has been issued. Also, for some perspective on the size of this storm, the tropical storm force winds with hurricane the storm of a large wind, the tropical storm force wind field with about 160 miles. This one, we're talking about closer to 350 to 400 miles. So this is a much bigger storm.
I like listening to it while I'm driving. 93.3 WKYQ.
Sun's gone down since you got gone. I bet you think I'm still sitting here alone.
Troy,
All tore up like a whiskey label, staring at
Now
the key
playing
that
Deep
you
Water
left on the table.
Salvage,
Hate to
Season
tell
1,
you, baby,
Episode.
but you got it wrong. You like crazy, baby. Call me lately. That's alright, this vibe ain't keeping me warm. Oh, girl, you need that. I got a wife up a crib on a whiskey glass. When it gets down to house, I just get it back. I might lose it. I got a book. Get me through it. Do it alright, but take my hand, take my side, and be friends. Jack on the block, so that's don't go right. When birds up on the TV show, girl ain't from the creek, it's on the trail. I got friends
Friends like that. Sean Morgan, Jason Alvey, today's 24-karat country WKYQ. Dr. Shepard here at the Rabbit Station. You've got to get your votes in for West Kentucky Star People's Choice Awards. You got 4 weeks to get those votes in. Yeah, per day, per category. Vote early, vote often. It's the Chicago way. Yeah, we see it this way. Voting ends, though, Sunday, October 20th. The People's Choice, WKYQ.
The biggest and best gun shows are the legendary Kenny Woods Gun Show, and they're coming this weekend at Traders Hall in Paducah. This weekend, Kenny Woods rolls into town with the best selection of guns, knives, hunting rifles, scopes, clips, shotguns, and accessories you've never seen in one place. Bring your family, rain or shine. We have everything for the lovers of the right to bear arms. It's Saturday 9 to 5, Sunday 10 to 4 at Traders Hall in Paducah. Kenny Woods Gun Shows, proud supporters of the Second Amendment.
You might wonder, John Legend, how do you keep your voice sounding so legendary? Honey, and how do I keep my protection against COVID-19 up to date? With a COVID shot this season, designed for recent variants.
You can get your COVID-19 shot by getting your flu shot if you're due for both. It's recommended by the CDC.
The sure, the better.
Ask your healthcare provider about getting this season's COVID-19 shot and getting your flu shot.
Sponsored by Pfizer. 93.3 WKYQ doubles your concert fun. Choose the stars on one big night. Little Big Town. And Sugar Land. Nashville's Bridgestone Arena, December 13th. Tickets are still down. Keep on the queue to grab some from the Rabbit. There's only one for a hot country concert. 93.3 WKYQ. is tree fat buildings in Florida. But it has been through, I don't know how many hurricanes. There were 2 back-to-backs in the 1850s.
I was
that
lost
blew the
and
windows
found
out
a
and
way to
destroyed
bring me
it.
back. Needed
There's
forgiveness.
actually, if you ever go
You
there,
always
you
gave
actually
me
have this
that.
feeling of walking
Girl,
uphill
I'm a
and going
witness of your
towards the
love.
altar,
You don't
because in
be giving up.
1899 there was a hurricane
And
that
it's
actually knocked
crazy
it off its foundation.
how you
They
saved
set out
me.
a communicator to everyone in
And
the
on the
area
power
saying,
door,
bring
I
your
got
meal
you,
and
but I
oxen
couldn't ask
to
for more.
Apalachicola on this day.
Girl, what we got,
Lashed
we're
all
thanking
together
God
and
for.
pulled it back up.
So thank God,
So,
I
church
can't
is all about community. How is your church community dealing with your
thank
approach
God.
of
Your
Hurricane Helene,
hand
knowing that this
is
really, this is a rain for
thank
Florida.
God.
And so many of my parishioners,
You did.
just 6 years old.
Thank God for
So there are people that are still dealing with
thank God.
there are a few people that stay around.
Thank God.
I kept in touch with them, but for the most part, everyone was pretty sensible, listened to the authorities, and got out. Most people were blessed to at least push it, make for a fun evening.
Were you here during Michael?
No, I've only been here a short time. You're also from the Orleans area, so you have some history with everything. That's right. Yeah, certainly, it's almost genetic in terms of paying attention to the weather, watching the weather change.
Thank you, Tom. That's just how we're here. Thank you. That's it. We're going to keep up here with the Episcopal Trinity Church here in Apalachicola. Sorry to stick up. We've seen a lot of rain here, Alex, and we get to get into the big time rain and big time wind, and perhaps even more surge as San Francisco runs even into the nighttime hours.
Yeah, so for most people as bad as it is, it's only going to go downhill from here. We're thanking God for preparation time is done. Most of these areas, gosh, you've already got gusts over 50 miles an hour on the west coast. This is a nearly major hurricane. We got hurricane right now. It's a cat 2, but barely. That is the expectation. National Hurricane Center is still saying this is going to be a major category 3 hurricane at landfall. Don't want to get sleep on the possibility that Travel says prepare for 1 Cat 45. Either way, widespread wind damage is going to be likely from areas in the Mid-Atlantic Florida, interior sections of the Southeast that will include Georgia and the western parts of South and North Carolina. Could see some tree damage as well. I think in those areas it's going to be catastrophic flooding that we've got to watch for. It is moving north-northeast 16 miles an hour, so again, that speed is going to allow these winds to impact areas well inland. This is not going to be a wind threat that's limited to coastal areas. Power outages will be widespread and extend up into the southern Appalachians and even northeast Georgia. We'll see that. Winds right now gusting 56 miles an hour, gusting to 51. Gusting to 52 miles an hour. 45 miles an hour gusts in Miami. Apalachicola gusting to 21 miles an hour. You see the heavy rain. We've got flash flood warnings in this area. Flash flood warnings already coming up in these spots. Western North Carolina, down here to some of the worst floods that you have ever seen. It is looking ominous there. We've got alerts all the way up to Western North Carolina. Hurricane Helene is launching by State Farm. Nothing good here. Stay for your family. Never watch any play me or song of it, so I thought I buried you. Act like I'm happy and now, but all my friends know that ain't true. Mama's healthy and I'm helping out the whole family. Some people know my name, I made a little change. That don't mean nothing. Don't even feel like Definitely during time. This don't even feel like life. Cause I don't really know that believed in me religiously. And now I'm in a bad is of course the nature. Also, because of the listeners are made with supercharged materials. These sulfate-free formulas deeply penetrate and replenish nutrients to boost hair health in just a wash. All I thought was the more natural spice today. Supercharged herbal essences. Your record label is taking off, but so is your sound engineer. You need to hire. Indeed. Indeed you do. Our advanced matching helps find talented candidates. Connect with them fast. Visit Indeed.com/hire. The dentist's office just lost my crown. But that's not consulting. It's that they have a social security number. The DMV hasn't updated their computers since they were invented. Past due forms and the extended his breach. They have my payment information.
And think of all the places that can expose your info. LifeLock monitors millions of data points per day. If there's a problem, we fix it. Every time. What is so Circle's view to take flight. Circle involves the key. This will Circle is Right tosses the So what is Circle? It's your body, your life. So, available at WalmartTradeCircle.com. You listen to business. Yeah. But you know who knows? Definitely knows. That's a great one. For users, this is
Yes, indeed. That'd be 3.3. That wraps up a no-talk triple play from WKY.
You got every guy in here spinning around, filling their beer. I bet you came out, have a good time. So what you say we leave your friends with mine? Yeah, they'll be alright.
Let me see you, girl. Cool, swim good. Today is 24 karat country. Dr. Jeff with you here at the Rapid Station. We are WKYQ. I got sunshine. Let's get some stuff done today. Because tomorrow, here comes the rain. Right now, we're looking at 80. Now, larger forecast in a moment. Sunny Friday, December 13th, for the Kentucky Opry 90s hit maker, John Berry. John Berry. John's greatest strength is his pure soulful tenor. One of the most incredible voices in music. For tickets, call the Opry or go to KentuckyOpry.com.